Welcome back to Brolic Whiskey. I'm Metahuman Dave.
Just Mike.
Just Mike.
Just me.
Today we're going to talk about infinity bottles. What the heck is an infinity bottle? So, I will lead off by just saying some people have other names for it. I've heard people say that it's called a solera bottle. Someone even told me that they call theirs a living bottle. The more common theme that I've seen in almost every Scotch group that I'm in is they just know it as an infinity bottle. What I would explain to you an infinity bottle is think of it as your living journal of your whiskey journey. What I mean by that is don't get too particular on trying to get a perfect blend and trying to make it where you can replicate it. You're not trying to make a recipe with this. That's something to do separate. If you want to make a recipe of blending a couple of whiskeys to make your perfect little cocktail of whiskeys, that's fine. But an infinity bottle is supposed to be an experiment. So there's different ways you can go about it.
Alright.
So some people will do only Scotch and Irish and American whiskeys in one bottle, right? Then they'll have their bourbons in a second bottle, and then smoky like Islay type of whiskeys in a third bottle, right? Well, this is Brolic Whiskey's infinity bottle so far. This is everything that we have reviewed on the YouTube channel thus far. You can see we're just a little under halfway on this bottle. We have no rhyme or reason to it. It's not like, hey, I only took the Scotches and put it in this bottle and bourbons are another. This is basically just a buffet of everything we've done. So bourbons, Islas, Scotch, Irish, everything is in here. One big science experiment.
That's the Brolic journey.
This is the Brolic whiskey journey
Gotcha.
thus far.
Gotcha.
Now, granted, maybe when the channel grows and we do a ton of different whiskeys, maybe we will start to branch off and do side infinity bottles. Like, okay, here's just our bourbons and here's just our Islas. But for now, this is our everything bottle. There's another way that some people do. Instead of breaking it down by all different types of whiskeys, some people will break it down of just smoky whiskeys, meaning your Islas, and then everything non-smoky.
Yeah.
So your Americans, your bourbons, and your non-smoky Scotches, right? Or Indian, Taiwanese, Korean, all these other different countries that are making whiskeys. This is how I've done my personal one. My personal whiskey bottle at home is just it's a decanter that has everything that I've ever made. Some people will get really particular about it, and this is totally up to you because this is your experiment. How you want to do it is, so I just grabbed an old bottle of Monkey Shoulder. My guys from the Whiskey Tribe will recognize this as the official badge of the Whiskey Tribesmen. I bottled it down, I took the label off, and this is what I used for our bottle. Some people will choose to use a smaller bottle first, right? Because this is a 750 ml,
Gotcha.
right? So that means there's a lot of airflow until we start to build it up, right? So some people will use a smaller bottle, maybe like you get your little mini. Then as you fill it up, you go to a 375. Then you go to a 750.
So that's just to keep oxidation down?
Oxidation, correct. I only have 750 mils at my house, so that's what I use. There's a 750. So I'm not too particular on letting the oxidation happen in any way because, as I mentioned, this is a science experiment. It's going to change flavors as it evolves. Basically, when you're doing this type of infinity bottle, you don't want to constantly sample. Because if you're trying to build up by adding, and everyone's going to add a different amount, right? Some people are going to add a quarter ounce, some people are going to add a half an ounce, some an ounce at a time. Or if you know that you're at the bottom of a bottle, maybe that's just your base, right? Maybe you're at the bottom of your Jameson, Irish, or stout whiskey, right? And instead of emptying it into your bottle, you're just like, you know what, there's this much in my bottle, that's going to be my base, and then you start adding on top, right?
Start your new one.
Right? So there's all different ways of doing this. So If you want to start with a heavy base and then just add a little on top, that's one way of doing it. Ours was simply approximately equal pours of everything. With the exception, I only did a little bit of hakushu because we know it's discontinued.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to add too much. I added just a little. The only thing missing from our bottle is dark origins. As of right now, there is no dark origin. So if we end up buying another bottle, then yes,
we'll have to add it.
It's getting added. But some of the other things to think about when you're doing your infinity bottle is, as I mentioned before, trying not to drink too fast of it, because you do want to let this build up. But I mean, there's been times where I had my personal infinity bottle taste better than any other whiskey I've ever had. Almost to the point where it's like, I wish I knew the exact recipe of what I was using.
Well,
and
when do we get to drink this?
Good question.
I want to know.
It's either going to be when we get to the neck.
Okay.
Or, hopefully you guys help us on this one and make it quicker than the neck. If we get to 100 subscribers, that's when I want us to taste this whiskey. We're about halfway right now. Last time I checked, we were just under 50 subscribers. 100 subscribers, we will crack this open and taste this. Significance of 100 is that's when we finally get to have our custom URL. So I figure that's a cool little milestone for us.
I like it.
So hopefully we don't fill this bottle before that happens. So help us grow, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, share the videos, right? So if you want to get super nerdy, and I think Mike would probably be more of this line because he likes to do his nerdiness when he gets into his stuff. Some people will make a completely custom label. They'll get on their Photoshop and make a special label, right?
Oh, that's a different level.
Right? Brolic whiskey infinity bottle, right? But that's not where the nerdiness ends. I've seen people on the back label leave space for them to write what went into the bottle and how much they poured into the bottle.
That's a different level of nerd. I'm not that nerd.
I've also seen people just take a simple label maker, like those little printable label makers, and just put each time that they've added something. For me, I don't want to go that nerdy just because this is a living, breathing science experiment. It's always going to evolve, right? There's many things that are going to change this flavor to the point that you'll never be able to replicate it. One is how much air is getting to it, right? The oxidation is going to change the flavors over time. The amounts are never going to be identical, right? Unless I'm using a jigger every time pouring into it. As I drink from it, how much time it matures in the bottle. Because if we drank this right now, after I just added a couple of whiskeys to it, it's going to taste different than it will a week from now without me even adding anything to it. Just because they kind of marry, just like when you're cooking food, right?
I'm pretty sure it's changing right now just for the damn temperature today.
There you go.
It's hot.
That is a huge differentiator. Is the heat. Right now it's 90-something degrees out here. We're sweating quite a bit. You know, so as we have temperature changes, it's going to affect this. So there's so many different things of how you can have your own infinity bottle. But the thing that I always tell people is, have fun with it. Don't get too serious. Don't try to replicate what it was. And also, even if you do get to that point that you love it, maybe you pour a little into like a little mini bottle and save it. But don't think that because you got to a certain level you need to stop doing your infinity bottle. That's not the point of these. The whole point is to make it a journal. So keep adding to it. And if you hate your bottle when you get to a certain point, keep adding to it because it's going to evolve. Now, you'll be amazed that even if you add whiskeys that you hate, you can maybe take 5 whiskeys you hate, mix them together, and taste it, and might all of a sudden find out that you love that blend of 5 different hated whiskeys because of how the chemical reactions of the different blends intermingle with one another.
Well, yeah.
Might make something enjoyable.
It's like that old saying, 5 turds make a pie.
5 turds make a pie. Heard it here first, folks. Have you guys ever done your own infinity bottle? Give me a thumbs up if you've done your own infinity bottle. If you've learned something from this about infinity bottles, give us a thumbs up. If you're watching this and never done an infinity bottle, but because of this video you're going to start your own, leave a comment below. Let us know that, hey, I'm going to start an infinity bottle because of you. We like to hear from you guys. We want to know what you think of the videos that we're shooting. Make sure that we're actually getting seen and that you like to hear what we're talking about. So, we will crack our Brolic Whiskey Infinity Bottle once we hit 100 subscribers. So help us get to that point. We want to taste it. We want to know what's going on in this bottle. So hit that subscribe button. Hit the little bell icon so you don't miss out on any videos. Leave us some love. And start your own infinity bottle. It's a great experiment. You'll love it.
It's a man journal.
It's a man journal, a man diary of manly whiskey.
Just Mike now. Bye.